welcome to the third quarter of the Bobby003 Show, and we're going to move right along, and we'll start off with a couple of
how about the LHC group, all your home health care needs? LHC group, everything from the nurses you might need, the therapists you need, doctors you may need at home. They can do all the equipment you need, from the special lift chairs to beds to oxygen equipment. They've got hospice care, palliative care. They've got a health and wellness center. They've got extended care in all your local hospitals throughout the whole United States. I mean, they've got reciprocal agreements and own different organizations all throughout South Louisiana, of course, where we are and we're broadcasting. But if you've got family members as far as the East Coast, the West Coast, middle part of the country, there's probably an LHC affiliated group there available to you.
And we might add that two of the founders of LHC Group, Ginger and Keith Myers, originally from the Palmetto area, they are being honored at noon tomorrow, Friday, November the 15th at noon in the Cajun Dome Convention Center. And they're being honored by the Community Foundation of Acadiana. It's an award that the Community Foundation presents to one family or one person, in my case, in 8 of the parishes that make up Acadiana. And for St. Landry Parish for the year of 2013, they have chosen to honor Keith and Ginger Myers. And of course, we talk about their generosity all the time. Nothing new for them. Ever since they formed this company, they have been leaders in helping the community survive and grow and see all of the good that can take place in the community. With the
veterans groups, because of Keith's father being a veteran, the
large contribution, cash contribution.
Helps us with the cerebral palsy clinic, helps all sorts of different groups.
Everything comes along in Acadiana, and certainly worthwhile, and we'll see you all there. We're very proud to say that we'll be there in person.
And how about recognizing 2 previous winners as well? Reggie and his lovely wife won last year, Reggie Dupree, and his wife, Marie, with all the things that they do with Hope for Opelousas, with Hope Presbyterian,
the school,
Westminster School, all the stuff that they've done over the years, and of course you, the year before that, with all the stuff that you do, and of course probably the biggest thing that people see is the cerebral palsy clinic, although you're involved in quite a few other things with scholarships and all that as well.
And this Veterans Memorial really got a lot of thank yous and people that pat me on the shoulder and go walk.
But it touches so many people. Because everybody's got a veteran in their family, you know?
Yeah, it might be that great-great-grandpa.
Right.
But they know that I had something to do with it, and they walk over and just total strangers, have no idea who they are or what they're coming. They're not coming to hit me. I'm too old to be slugged at. But
those days are gone.
Anyhow, try giving a little bit. It really works good, and it's a feeling that you get, and you helping the community grow and strive. And there's nothing like living in a good, generous community. Nothing better. And hopefully our roads will be improving. We'll be able to get a lot of people that want to come to St. Landry Parish. They'll be able to come because we'll have good roads for them to travel on.
While we're talking about one of the other philanthropy groups, I'm going to show this picture real quick here. We've got Don Stanford was ordained the chaplain over at the Lighthouse Mission. You know, the Lighthouse Mission is our men's homeless transitional shelter to try to get these men who are down on their luck or having some kind of problems, get back into life and get back active. And Don Stanford's helped for years around there and in the community. And I tease him, he thought he retired, but he came back from retirement to help a whole bunch of people. But congratulations, Don and his wife, Carol, as well, over helping all the work that they do with the Lighthouse Mission here in town. And let's show some other photos. Let's kick to, we had some veterans as well. You're not talking about the veterans, you just had Veterans Day. We've got this photo. This is the veterans down in Lydia.
This was at Lydia. This is at the Lydia food store where I just showed you the 2 young ladies that were the cashiers there. The veterans, the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 1001 out of New Iberia, Louisiana, was selling poppy, they have an annual poppy drive and to raise money. And they had, I think, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Well, this was at 6 p.m., so they were continuing on. And the people shown in the picture here on the left is Miss Rebecca Boudreau. Her former husband, who is deceased, Mr. Aurelius Boudreau, who happened to be a major in the Army, very decorated serviceman. That's his jacket that she's wearing, that Miss Rebecca is wearing.
Wow.
And the gentleman in the picture is Gerald Frick, and he is, of course, he is the vice president of the New Iberia chapter of Vietnam Veterans of America. And of course, I made my little contribution like the others were doing. People were really good, and I've noticed in recent years, I commented about that the last couple of years, each year there's more and more local activities honoring our veterans who went and served in some capacity or another.
Look, when I was saying when I came up, what a veteran was, that was your grandpa's youngest brother, because my grandpa was too old to serve, my daddy was too young to have served, and everybody fell in between. But now, there are very many young men that have been military and all that as well. So we're seeing a lot more, all of these different ages, so a lot more people involved.
That was an article in the, that would be the Advertiser, and that would have been the Monday edition, which was Veterans Day. Faces of Veterans Day growing younger. And so now some of the 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds are joining the veterans, the American Legion, in one fashion or another.
Correct.
Because they are serving in very bad,
tough conditions
in Afghanistan and in Iraq.
Right.
Neither one are good conditions, and we're having a lot of problems with our young soldiers coming back. They don't seem to be well prepared mentally to go into the situation. We're not raised in those kind of conditions that they're confronted with when they arrive over there.
And not just men, women as well. At the New Life Center here in Opelousas, you know, there are 6 rooms that are dedicated to women's veterans who are homeless at the New Life Center. So to give you some education about that, very important to take care of our veterans.
Blackie Pete, you know Blackie from Opelousas here. He belongs to the local American Legion. I think it's American Legion Post 25, but don't hold me to the number. But he and Bobby LeBourgeois, you know Bobby with the boxing, state champion, former state champion at Opelousas High. Bobby has recently joined the Opelousas chapter, and they were talking, and they couldn't think of somebody's name that Bobby is with this person all of the time. But you know how your mind just works counter against you, and they were looking for the name of Nutsi Quirk. They called me last night while they were having the conversation.
That's funny.
So anyhow,
how
the
about
veterans, and of course one of our veterans locally was written up on the front page of the Daily World
Mr. Willis
on
Fontenot.
Monday, and we had his picture last week's program
with the deer he killed.
Killing the biggest deer killed while the hunt in Texas was taking place. And he was a decorated World War II veteran, and the article is very you know, it goes into some of the details.
And he's got a daughter working on a novel based on some of his experiences. So.
That is correct. And November 1st is his birthday. So he had this hunt, which was very successful. He comes back, he sees his local doctor, finds out he has prostate cancer. But that's just another battle for Mr. Willis. He'll overcome it. He overcame Second World War on some bad conditions. If you read that article, they were up against some bad conditions. So Mr. Willis, we're going to all be praying for you and Ms. Willis that your health remains good in spite of the treatment you're going to need. Pepper spray legal? Is pepper spray legal? You know the questions they asked our local sheriff?
It's very good, those articles.
And pepper spray as a personal defense weapon is legal in all 50 states.
However,
pepper spray irresponsibly can incur criminal or civil liabilities. So
use some sense.
Use some good sense when you, and you know, that kind of, it's a shame. This young Arsenal girl that was kidnapped by her, never were married, but they had a child together.
Correct.
Mr. Thomas from the Leonville area. This is a case where a relative of Miss Arsenal went in. They heard some screaming going on.
Multiple relatives.
And went in and shot and killed this man who was stabbing Miss Arsenal with a knife, according to what I read.
Right.
And now they're looking in to see whether or not there's any criminal charges to be filed in this. So while we all think of it as, you know, honorable and the thing that had to be done, there's apparently some legal questions have to be answered and worked over so that something doesn't pop up years to come.
And you have a jury of your peers. Let's say it has to go forward. Let's say it has to go forward. That's why you got a jury, because a jury can sit down and look at the evidence and decide if there was probable conditions to make that happen. How about our friend Sonny Ray? That's what you're going to talk about next, speaking of veterans.
Yep.
And has done this for years.
Oh, Sonny was my barber until 12, 18 months ago.
When he's fought with his arm troubles.
Yeah, and then I sold some property to Vera, and I go collect. She calls me in the collects, and she knows I need a haircut, and so I get a trim. So anyhow, Sonny, we love you. You were the best. You took me in whenever I went. I was always.
And when he saw you on the show and you didn't look right, he'd call you to come in.
That's right. That's correct. He cared about me.
That's right.
He's been given free bed and breakfast rooms for vets for many years. I remember when he started this program. And then he got in touch with another person. And from those two startups, there's now over 500 inns, bed and breakfast inns in the United States that are giving free rooms to veterans on Veterans Day. What a remarkable.
I've gone to his house on Veterans Day before, and he's had the Sweet Adelons one year that sang.
That's right. Yeah, we had this.
J.P. Poirier and the whole crew were there.
We had that story before, right? So it's nothing new, but
for him, but it's a beautiful thing.
But a beautiful thing to do. So we can. There's all kind of things you can do out there. You can.
And the couples he had the year that I went were two young couples. It was. I guess they were probably both in their 20s, and the men were back in from wherever they were, and they came in and stayed in Appaloosa.
A huge military tank collection is heading east. A gentleman in San Jose, California area is giving up a $30 million fleet of refurbished tanks. And they've been housed in 7 storage sheds on the family estate. He accumulated this over the years.
Right.
He has died recently, I think in 2009 maybe. But in 2014, these vehicles are heading east to the Rob Collins Museum. And they're going to be well kept, and you'll be able to visit them. This museum, you could only see all of these tanks and everything that he had over there from early wars up until the last wars. But you had to have an appointment. So literally, it was at his estate way out of town.
He's going to bring it to the public.
It's going to be brought to the public, and it's going to live on forever.
How about 1 or 2 photos here real quick? I'm going to show you all some sunsets over Sycamore Point.
Yep, we're always talking about the point. And I'm going to show you some of the building.
And we're going to get to the building, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a 1-minute break right now. We're going to come back in 1 minute, and we're going to talk about all kind of good things for that last quarter.